Hi, everyone. So, I am currently in the middle of watching the newest episode of Survivor. I put it on pause because I just noticed that half the cast, at least I'm on episode 9 of season 44, the one in America for those who don't live in the US. Yeah, and I just realized that half of the people who are left, at least half, are probably autistic. And I've talked before on here about I've watched shows. I watch a lot of trashy reality TV because people are a special interest as long as they're kept at a distance. I actually earlier just got done watching The Jersey Shore, and I can't stop watching that because that was one of the first shows I watched when I moved to the States. What was it, so many years ago? And I was in my 20s, so I was like, this show is fucking hilarious. And then it was really stupid. If you guys have seen The Jersey Shore, it's a stupid show. It still is a stupid show. The only difference is now they're older and they're adults and they're having families and kids and all that good stuff. But I can't stop watching because it's still nice to see people who 12, 13, 14 years ago were just fucking dumb. And they're still a little bit, I'm still a little bit, but there's been maturing going on and living life and learning things and discovering all kinds of stuff. I just like to see people's journeys. I only like the ones where they're nice people. So I know that's judgy, but I'm equally as fascinated with, well, this isn't news to anybody. I'm not going to lie. I sit there and I am in my head, diagnosing these people. That one's a narcissist. That one's probably histrionic. That one's definitely got BPD. I don't know about that one. Maybe that one's a sociopath. And I do this all the fucking time. I do it so often that I just now became aware of it. I don't mean for the first time ever, but I know I do this, but sometimes I just stop and think to myself, can you not just look at somebody and the first thought you have is, I wonder what their deal is. Because it's just this, does anybody else do this? Do I sound stupid? I mean, I can't help it. It just sucks because I have no desire to become a therapist at all. I liked what I did when I was counseling for several years. I liked it, but I do not want to return to it because the older I have gotten, the less I can deal with people, with stress, So I don't want to return to it. But now and again, I do miss it because you get to see people with personality disorders right in front of you. And I probably have one because I was diagnosed BPD, but I still am leaning on more toward I don't have BPD and I'm autistic. Because that sounds better. Nobody wants to have that shitty ass label of borderline personality disorder that really needs to be changed. Please, somebody out there in the next DSM, I would like to see a new name for borderline personality disorder, and I would like to see all mention of autism being a disorder out of that fucking DSM, because autism is not a disorder. Autism spectrum disorder. No, I am not viewing myself as a disorder, but that's neither here nor there. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Diagnosing people? Oh, yeah. And they would be in my office, and it's not I was not unprofessional. I should probably just stop talking because I'm going to sound like I was just stupid at what I did, and I wasn't. I guess like it would be more appropriate to say I find people fascinating. Um, and like I'm quite judgmental. It's mostly reserved for ordinary people because they've had that shit coming for a while. But usually I just want to know like what's going on with that person, or like if I, and like I'm just going to say it, I know I'm right with my diagnoses. Like I just know I am, but they'll never count for anything because I'm not going to fucking school to be a therapist. Like I don't want to diagnose people bad enough to do that shit. It's just like years and years of like psychology being like a special interest, and that's never actually gone away. I just don't want to really work in that field. I've worked in like no, it's not a similar field, like alcohol and drug use. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what I mean. Anyways, so I'm watching Survivor because that's initially what I got on here to talk about. And there's this one, like, I hope she doesn't get voted off on this episode, but her name's Carolyn. And do you ever have that thing where, like, with the majority of people, when you meet, like, if you meet somebody right away and you immediately dislike them, you know that you're going to end up loving them? And the opposite's true. Like, if you meet someone and you immediately, like, find them interesting and, love being around them and blah, 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 you're going to end up really not liking them at some point. And for me, like, that's very, very true for me with almost every single person I've ever met. I just always have that initial gut feeling. It could just be, like, the very first time I lay my eyes on them. I don't know. I usually can figure people out really quickly. And that's thanks to my fucked up childhood. So thanks, Mom and Dad. Thanks for fucking me up. No, I'm not bitter. I really want to, like, meet somebody who does this, but I don't know if anybody exists, like, out there that, like, does this with, like, diagnosing these people in your head that you'll never meet. And then, like, as you get to know some of them that, like, stay, like, for seasons, like the challenge, you get to know these people's, like, backstory. Like, I'll just, like, pivot over to that show. Because a lot of them came from the real world. And I remember, like years ago, seeing, like, Jordan, for example, so much fucking anger. And the dude still has an anger issue, but, like, you can see he's softened over the years and he's probably done some work on himself. And Tori and Nani, they used to be crazy as fuck. And, like, they've leveled out and they're more mature now. And, right, where was I going with this one? Huh. Probably shouldn't have recorded. I probably should just, like, rename the show. I probably shouldn't have recorded this. Does anybody do this? I can't not do this. I've tried. Like, let's just go back to Survivor, because I don't know what I was talking about with the challenge. But I love Survivor. I love the game. Because once I have these people figured out in my head, then I have, like, a handful of, like, some that I want to see go to the very end. And then several episodes in, I've usually chosen one person out of that handful that I would like to see win the game. And it almost never happens. It's always, like, a douchebag most of the time. But yeah, like, and, like, I'm thinking back to other shows I've watched that were reality TV, and, like, the people that I always wanted to win, most of them were autistic. Because I was thinking about this earlier about, like, I don't know, I take reality sorry, some of you are probably out there, like, shaking your heads like, what the fuck, like, I'm about to click off because she's back to talking about, like, The Bachelorette and The Challenge, and I like my trashy reality TV, I just do, but I don't watch it for, like, the drama. Like, that's not what interests me. What interests me is, like, once I've, like, separated them into good people, people and not so good people, then the goal in my mind is the group of good people, somebody needs to make it to the end. Like, somebody has to win from that fucking group. And if that's impossible, then the group, okay, fine, somebody from that can win. But, like, nobody can win from that last group. And I get so fucking pissed when somebody wins from that last group. And I'm listening to myself as I'm saying this out loud, and it's like a fucking sport. I sound like I'm watching, like, fucking football, but with people and problems. I don't know. But, like, actually, I didn't get on here just to say that. I also wanted to just share my thought of, like, there can't be as few of us as it's made out to be. Like, that we're a small population and the world wasn't built for us, which it definitely was not. But I don't know if that's because there's more ordinary people than there is autistic people. Especially, like, with so many people have gone undiagnosed, women more so. But, like, look how many people go undiagnosed that, like, you're reading a book that they wrote or you're listening to, like, a podcast that they're doing. And the more and more, like, I'm finding these people and, like, I'm seeing them on shows, and I don't know that, like, there's less of us or, like, way less of us. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel that way. I feel like it's at least a 50-50. And somehow the ordinary people won out with how the world was made. I don't know how that happened, but and I don't want to just generalize because not every ordinary person is you know what I mean. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to say. I don't know if you can relate to this. I really hope that there's somebody out there listening that, like, does this. And for the rest of you that are like, what the fuck? Like, this is reality TV. You should, like, sorry, I can't help it. This is a special interest. And if you're autistic, you probably didn't mind listening to that, because I listened to all kinds of, like, episodes about people talking about their special interests, and I like it because I get to learn about whatever the thing is, even though I'll never, like, visit that topic on my own. So, like, maybe this is what that was for some of you. And then for anybody else that, like, this sounds like, can you please email me? My email is somewhere. Because I'm getting greedy, okay? Like, I'm coming up on 1 year of finding out that, like 1 year of being autistic, not being autistic, but knowing I'm autistic. Like, I'm coming up on 1 year of that, and I'm like, okay, I know that there's other people that are autistic that are like me out there now. But now let's, like, narrow it down to, like, thinking patterns and, like, special interests. Is there anybody out there that, like, watches reality TV like it's gonna fucking die tomorrow, and you sit there and you're, like, separating these people into groups in your head, and, like, you're creating this, like, fucking battle that, like, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody in the whole fucking world except for you inside your head. And it's a good time. And I just wanted to say that out loud because I've never found anybody that I get to say this stuff out loud to. And I still haven't. But somehow it just feels nice to say it out loud in a room by myself with nobody judging me. Because, I mean, before I learned to shut my trap most of the time, you know, because, like, people are so fucking mean. Like, I would go on and on about some stuff, and, like, this was one of them, and I would get, like, weird looks from people, and you know what looks I'm talking about. And so I just kind of stopped talking about this with other people, which is just odd that there are so many people that don't do this. At least, like, I mean, it seems that way from my world. Did this make any sense? I don't know. But email me, please. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for listening. Okay, goodbye. I'm not high. Okay, goodbye.